and welcome to Influence 2020 live interview with the General Overseer of the Foursquare Gospel Church, Nigeria, Reverend Sam Aboyeji. My name is Joshua Edison from Oshodi District, and I have with me here my co-anchor,
Oraoluwa Shotade from Alaka District. And this program is beamed live on Foursquare TV, YouTube, and all our social media platforms. You can join us at Foursquare Youth NG and at Foursquare NIGR. Please feel free to join in the conversation by sending in your comments and your questions using the hashtag Influence2020. Please follow this format as you send in your questions and comments. Your first name, your state, your district, your question, and the hashtag Influence2020. I'll take that again. Your first name, your district, states, your question, followed by hashtag Influence2020. To send in your questions, please log into sildo.com. That is SILDO.com using the event code 13514. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ore. We'll be right back after this short break.
Can we come back live by 3, 2, 1, action.
You're welcome back. Once again, this is Influence 2020 live interview with the General Overseer of the Foursquare Gospel Church in Nigeria, Reverend Sam Aboyeji. A little bit about the man that we'll be speaking to this evening. He was ordained in 2001 as a reverend and has served in various capacities within the church, Foursquare Gospel Church, of course, as the district overseer in Warri, and has also been the senior pastor at the Olu Palace in Warri. Let's make welcome our daddy in the Lord, Reverend Sam Aboyeji. You're welcome, Daddy.
Thank you very much. Thank
very
you.
welcome,
Thank you
sir.
very much. Thank you.
Thank you once again for your time, sir.
Thank you.
So, sir, some of our members have seen you preach on TV and on social media, and I'm sure they must have been wondering, who is this man? I don't know him. Could you please tell us about yourself, sir?
Okay, just like you introduced me, I'm Reverend Sam Aboyeji. I was born 26th of December 1960 to Mr. Caleb Aboyeji and Mrs. Rebecca Aboyeji, both of blessed memory. And they are both from Edidi in Isin local government area of Kwara State, where I did my primary school. And then from there, I went to the secondary school in the same place. From there, I went to the University of Ilorin. I had a BSc Economics. And then to University of Lagos for an MBA. And then I went to Life Theological Seminary for a BTH. And I'm also a fellow of the Charter Institute of Stockbrokers. On the spiritual side, like you stated, I was born again in 1976 at the age of 16. And as a teenager, I grew up knowing the Lord and working closely with him. And I've been privileged also to serve in various capacities in the church and in the fellowship, culminating in my serving with one of the ministries in Nigeria during the National Youth Service. And then from there, I came into Foursquare through Chomolu Church. I came in as a newcomer, went through baptismal class, membership class, became a worker, and then I started as an house fellowship coordinator. And then from there, I became teacher in the Sunday school. And I then got transferred to Akoka Church, where I served as CFM secretary. And then in that church, I became the GSS, General Sunday School Superintendent, and became assistant minister before I was asked to go and pastor a church, Foursquare Gospel Church, Lady Lac. I I was installed as the senior pastor the day the church was chartered. And that was sometime 1999. But by 2000, I had to move to Warri. That's when I became senior pastor of the Odo of Grace Palace Church. And that's all about me.
Okay,
I'm married to my very lovely wife, who has been a great supporter to me in the ministry. She's been in full-time since 1993. You know, working alongside with me. We're blessed with 4 children, 2 grown-up boys. 3 grown-up boys and 1 girl, and we have a granddaughter.
That's great.
Congratulations, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Daddy, you've mentioned so much about, you know, your experience growing in the ministry, but you know, it's been 5 months rather down the line. How has that been in this new capacity as the General Overseer for Square?
Thank you. Incidentally, that was the question that the international president asked me just some 2 weeks ago when we were having the Foursquare family prayer on Zoom. He was asking me, how has it been in 5 months? And let me just say that in 5 months, it's been the grace of God. 5 is the number of grace. So we have enjoyed so much grace. Our people have been very supportive in prayers. And we have received words of encouragement from people. And all I can say is that for now, because you know our church is not a new church, this year will be 65 years old. And like I tell anybody that cares to listen, I'm the first general overseer that is younger than the organization. All my predecessors are older than the organization. So you can imagine I'm the child among them. So what we've been trying to do in 5 months is to try and see what is on ground, and then look at it and trusting God that we'll be able to align it with the vision that God has given us. You know, because we have a lot of good things that our fathers have done, very many good things. But you know, if you don't pay attention, you might lose them. So that's why we need to pay close attention, pick them one by one, and align them with the vision that the Lord has given us. Like I keep telling people, we are not politicians. You know, if it's politicians now, you come, you rubbish all the things that the previous people have done and start your own. No, we're not politicians. So by the grace of God, we made very good, solid, you know, brethren on ground who already work with our fathers. And by the grace of God, we're going along with a lot of them. And like I said, aligning what we have, you know, with the vision that God is giving us, the new direction that God is giving us as an organization. That's what we've been doing. And the grace of God has been there. And our people have been very, very supportive these last 5 months. All our leaders have been very supportive, very prayerful, and with words of encouragement from left, right, and center.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. All right, sir. So listening to your messages, you've mentioned about similar crises you faced at your former station and how you conquered them. So we're talking about crises that might relate to the current pandemic we're facing in Nigeria. So could you please tell us the steps you took during that period and what lessons we young people can learn from them?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think the first thing I need to say is that life is all about managing crisis. I think young people need to know that. If you have respite, just know that it's for a while. Because life is all about changes. Things you don't plan for will come. So you must be ready to face them as they come. As children of God, you know, like the crisis you mentioned, it's not exactly the same like the pandemic that we have that's all over the world. This was more of an ethnic crisis that was in the area where I pastored, in the community, in the state. And it was such a proportion that it lasted for years. You know, I got there 2000. I was told it started in the 90s. And it was so massive that, you know, people shoot on the streets. The young people are shooting on the streets, you know. But thank God that, in the midst of it, you know, three things I've just shared. Anytime anybody finds himself in such a situation as a young person, one, don't panic. You have to be courageous. Don't let situation destabilize you. Like I am just coming as a new pastor, and the first thing I hear is that here, there's problem here. You know, like you said, it's just 5 months down the line. All our plans, we thought would be in ICML to roll out what we have to do. All that, we have to keep it on hold. You don't get destabilized. You go ahead because there must be, that's the first thing. Don't panic. Don't panic. Anyone that belongs to God should know that you just have to be courageous. So don't panic. As young people, I say it again, don't panic. In the midst of every crisis, there's an opportunity. So don't panic. Just look out for the opportunity that is there. Because opportunities disguise as problems. So like this one that everybody is looking at, there are opportunities. And we are going to use some of the opportunities. There are a few things we have learned in the course of it. We're going to capitalize on it. Then as a child of God, you should know that you need to pray. When things come like this, you can use prayer to change it to your favor. You know, because at the end of it all, there will be losers, there will be winners. The losers will be those who take it carelessly. The winners will be those who refuse to panic so that they can still reason well. Because when you panic, you don't reason well.
True.
Two, those who look up to God in prayer, they will be able to see the opportunities that this particular crisis presents. So those were the things that the Lord used to help in the course of those days. Like I keep saying, the church, the area was under curfew for 1 whole year. But then the church kept going on. God kept giving us ideas as we pray on what to do. You know, and I believe the same thing. After this COVID-19 crisis, it will give the church a better chance.
Amen.
Thank you so much for that. We'll just take a short break again and we'll be right back. Thank you very much. our General Overseer of the Foursquare Gospel Church in Nigeria. Thank you for tuning in and sending in your questions. We'll begin to take one now, and this one is from Pastor Aina from Nasarawa. And the question is asking, is there a plan to have Foursquare Gospel Church programs transmitted in Hausa language, to benefit our brethren in that region, sir?
Okay, incidentally, we are church-based. What I mean by that is that each local church in Foursquare is assumed to be able to do anything on their own. Of course, we have zone, we have districts. By the grace of God, our plan is to reach everybody because the gospel is for everybody. Yeah. So I'm sure in some of those places, we had some programs running on television and on radios. But I'm going to check whether it's possible to extend it into the Hausa language. But currently, I know we don't have any for now.
Great. Thank you, sir. So the second question is from Pastor Sunday from Maiduguri. And Pastor Sunday is asking, what are your plans to make Foursquare Gospel Church popular in the north?
Okay. By the special grace of God, we have a northern region, which was just divided into 3 during the last administration. We have North Central region, in fact, to 4. We have North Central region, we have North Central, Northeast, Northwest, and then we have Abuja area, making 4. That's covering the north. Mm-hmm. And during the last administration, we also had districts in every state. So, and even more. There are some districts that have more than one, some states that have more than one district. So there's already, what you can call like a spread that you can work on to be able to move in further into all the communities that are around the north. So in the north, we're already present in the north, but it's just we needed to penetrate and have more churches planted. And that will be the next stage of what is going to be done now.
Okay. That's great. And another question from Pastor Adelakun from Rivers. He's asking, what transportation plans does Foursquare have for our youths coming from the east for youth camps and programs, sir?
Well, let me just quickly answer that question by saying that, going forward, like it is happening all over the world, the pandemic has shown us that we don't even need to meet physically.
Yeah.
We've been running the church, we've held our NEC meeting, we have held some of our very key meetings without meeting physically. Thank God for Foursquare television, So the ultimate thing, like the refreshing vigil, those of us who are in the dim, we're just a portion. All the other people link up with us all over the country. So ultimately, that is where we should be looking forward to, not planning on how to bring everybody to Lagos. No. Are you following me now?
Very well.
Yeah. What we should be thinking about is how are we going to have viewing stations in each state, viewing station in each district headquarters, so that when we have something like your youth program, all you do is they gather at the district headquarters, there's a screen, and everybody is looking at it. Yeah. Because if you look at our roads, that's the first thing. Our roads are not so good. Then you have the risk on the road, and then you have the cost element. So when you put all this together, you discover that your best bet is not even trying to make sure you bring everybody from Maduguri, from Sokoto, and bring them to Lagos, or from Umuahia, and from Owerri, and bring everybody to Lagos. That shouldn't be the target. The target should be, how can we get everybody to participate? From wherever they are. And that's where the world is going. That's where we should be thinking about, not what transport arrangement are we making.
Coming down.
So
okay. Thank you so much.
Like this program, for instance. Everybody's watching it, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And at the end of it, whereas we are not together, but we are together in the virtual space. So that's where the thinking should be going.
Okay, great.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for that point. I was just getting to, ask you about how the church is planning to use the social media platforms even more effectively. Given the COVID-19 situation, it's changed the way we worship. Now a lot more youths are, constantly online, and now the church is being brought onto their platforms. They are meeting them in their homes and all of that. Is there more light that can be shed on what the church is doing, to improve on that reach it's having online?
Yeah, thank you for that question. Like I said, COVID-19 has opened our eyes to see that we can achieve a lot more.
Yes.
Without necessarily congregating in one place.
Yeah.
So, already, like we have the Foursquare television. I'm sure you are aware that Foursquare television is one mobile app, which is one thing that young people love a lot. They don't have to sit in front of a television. Even while they are walking on the road, while they're in their car, they can take their handset and be watching what is going on.
Yes.
So that's where the world is going, So going forward, what we intend to do is to deepen that. There are a few other things that this COVID-19 has exposed us to. Like, it exposed us to the fact that we can even use voice because of the cost of data. When you look at the cost of data, some people cannot use Facebook. They cannot use, the other.
Instagram, YouTube.
They can't use YouTube because of the cost of data. But when you use voice, you use less data. So we have a voice line now that people can use. So those are some of the things. So like that voice line now that we just discovered during this COVID-19, we're going to continue to use it. And many more. And another thing we're planning to do is to look for a way of consolidating all the Foursquare social media addresses that we have. When you go on virtual space, there are just too many. See, everybody has his own Facebook, everybody has his own. We're trying to see how we can consolidate it. And then we want to encourage all our churches. This has been on before, but I think it needs to be emphasized. Every church should make an online appearance. Every church should make an online appearance. Most of the churches that are currently online, they are the ones where you have a lot of interest in young people. But majority of our churches are not. And it was during this COVID-19 that a lot of them started creating Facebook accounts, started doing this. But it's good. It's good. So that's part of the good thing that COVID-19 has brought. So, and we will encourage them to abide by it and use it. Because we kept emphasizing to them on our platform that they can use it for their midweek service, can use it for their Sunday service, so that even though people are in the various house fellowships, they can always use those facilities to be able to coordinate what is going on in each house fellowship and in each family meetings.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. That's interesting. So this is to all our pastors and all our churches. The GO is encouraging us to harness the social media platforms to stream our services so we're not left behind. Thank you for that, sir. So, sir, there's a growing gap in the socio-economic space in Nigeria. The poor people or those in the lower class are getting poorer due to this pandemic. So what is the plan of the church to address this need? I know that recently the church donated some food items to the Lagos State government for the food distribution scheme. So we'd like to know, what is the church doing to address the needs of her members? And are there plans to also extend this gesture to other states?
Okay. Thank you very much for that question. The donation to Lagos State government, it was done after a lot of discussions and a lot of deliberations. And given the limited resources that we have, because the resources will always be limited, we came to the conclusion that we cannot give to every state. That's one.
Okay.
Then the next thing was, we had 3 states in mind, plus the federal government. Then we said, okay, no, we can't give federal government, because federal government came to give Lagos State.
Okay.
Then we came to the conclusion that, look, among these states that are left, who is most qualified? If we are going to give only one state, then we concluded that it's Lagos State. Because when you look at the number of infected persons, there's no state, not even FCT, that nears half of what Lagos State has. In fact, I listened to the governor and he was saying that some people who came through the border of Lagos State, either from Seme or from other states, that immediately they came into Lagos State and they tested positive. They were begging. And I think the federal government also recognized that. That's why you see that they immediately gave Lagos State some support as soon as the thing happened. So that was how we came about giving Lagos State. Now, on giving at all, you know, if you look at the Bible, we see that it's always good to give. We always say that the giver's hand is on top. Now, you don't necessarily have to have surplus before you give. I think that's where a lot of people make mistakes. They think that until you have excess, that if I have need, why should I give? Like I get some people saying that, they say, have we given all the Four Square members before we gave government? No, it doesn't work like that. If you look at this scripture, Isaiah 58 verse 10, I'm going to read it in New Living Translation. Look at what it says. It says, feed the hungry and help those who are in trouble. He said, then your light will shine from the darkness, and the darkness around you will be as bright as noon.
Word.
So there's always a blessing attached to giving people, you know. So that's one principle that made us to take that step to say, okay, let us also be part of what the government, and you know, as a church, we believe in civil government. We believe in supporting government that is instituted by God. And we see this problem as being big. So we need to show our own concern to the government. Then on what plan we have for our people. I said it earlier that we are a church-based institution. What that means is that each of our churches are empowered to some extent to be able to do things on their own. Most of the time, the problem we have is that people compare us with other churches where everything's at the center. Everything happens at the center. But you know, a Four Square church is expected to grow to a level where you are self-financing, you are you can run yourself. That's the ultimate when you become a charter church. So, be that as it may, it is expected that each of our churches should actually be the one to minister to their people. That is the way our church is run. For us at the center, we have our own responsibilities, which is, one, our ministers. And you know, immediately this pandemic started, end of March to early April, about the 2nd or 4th of April, we had to disburse immediately 3 months salary support advance to all our pastors all over the nation.
Wow.
That's April to June, because we knew that the moment these things start, it will be a problem for them. So that one is our own direct responsibility at the center, which we did. And then we sent a directive to all the churches and our church leaders that please minister to your congregation, minister to your community. You know, and I'm very happy because when I went to the platform, the WhatsApp platform of our DOs and the Axis coordinators, regional coordinators, I saw a lot of them have done a lot of things. I just put it there that this is what the national headquarters has done. And then they started firing me back. That, oh, in our district we did this. In our region we also did this. And I was happy that at least, a lot of our people have done. You know, we are not a church where you say everything happens at the center. You understand? Yeah. We have our district, we have our regions, and they are all, you know, empowered individually to do what they need to do within their environment. And I think that is a lot more effective. You know, it's a lot more effective. One of the reasons why we had to go to Lagos State government is because our headquarters is here. And most of the time we also have our dealings with the Lagos State government. But we believe that those who are in Ondo, those who are in Ekiti, those who are in Delta, in Edo, they are going to take care of their own environment.
Thank you so much, sir, for those.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. So you don't need to have surplus to give.
No,
give
no.
of whatever it is you have.
Yes,
thank you very much for that,
you'll be blessed.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So we'll be going on a short break now. Please stay tuned.
Remember, it's still Influence 2020, and we're chatting with our General Overseer of the Foursquare Gospel Church in Nigeria. Sir, a question just came in from our viewers online, and this particular question, someone is asking that Foursquare Gospel Church they need it on GoTV and DSTV, and they are not having so much of that. More people tune into a lot of either Faith TV or Dove TV or all those other stations. What plans is Foursquare as a church making to come online?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. I've been asked this question several times. In fact, the first few weeks that I came on board, people said, "Oh, we just need Foursquare TV to be on DSTV," and then I start carrying it as a burden. But Foursquare TV, as we have it now, also has a reach, because like I said, it's on VM Africa, so you have it on mobile app, so that is one. But we recognize the fact that most homes in Nigeria, they are either serviced by DSTV or serviced by GoTV or serviced by StarTimes. Those are the three major companies that service families. So, but God so good, I think just about 2 weeks ago, I just got a call. Somebody just called me and said that some of the messages that we've been preaching since this lockdown started, that they feel that these messages should go beyond just using the Foursquare TV, using Facebook. And so I was asking the person, what do you mean? He said, no, that they are exploring the possibility of getting it on DSTV. And lo and behold, last Sunday, we were on DSTV, we were on GoTV, and we were on StarTimes. And that to us is a major breakthrough. I don't know how it happened, but like I said, it's grace. And those brethren, they paid for it, so we didn't have to pay for that last week from the national office. And the youth have also lined up for this Sunday. So maybe from there, we'll see what God will do. But at least that to us was a major breakthrough. So that question has already been answered.
Yes.
Yes.
Also, we have a question from Mark Borough. Now, it's like the teenagers have also tuned in to listen to you on this broadcast. And they are asking, concerning their program coming up later this year, is it possible that they will have a teens camp? Is it possible that after this blows over, they are going to have a teens camp?
Yeah, we are optimistic that by the grace of God, we kept saying it, that April is the month of the resurrection, and COVID-19 has to go, by the power of the resurrection and help from above. And if you follow the news about COVID-19, all over the world, people are opening up. Even Europe, where they had a lot of devastation, they're already opening up.
Yes.
Ghana has opened up, like that. And even in Nigeria, for the first time, yesterday, Lagos didn't have any infected person for the first time. So, and those are signs that there are signs of recovery. For us, I am optimistic that before the time of things come, bearing the fact that there may be change in the school calendar, because that's another thing you can be looking at. There may be change in the school calendar. For whatever it is, I'm sure we're going to have a teens camp this year. By the grace of God, we're going to have it. I'm optimistic about it.
Thank you, sir.
That's definitely encouraging to the teens out there. Yes.
Okay, sir. So one more question. Someone sent in a question about the Foursquare TV decoder. Please, sir, can you tell us the plans the church has towards making the decoder available for use?
Well, the Foursquare decoder is not just Foursquare decoder. It's a normal decoder that is sold in the market. They call it Strong decoder or My TV decoder. So it's available in the marketplace, really. It's available in the marketplace. So if the person really needs it, they can just get in touch with the same place where you get the other ones, where you get StarTimes, where you get DSTV, where you get GoTV. It's the same place where you're going to get it. It's called either Strong decoder or My TV decoder. But if you go there and you say you are looking for Foursquare decoder, they will tell you they don't have. So I think that may be the problem.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's
So strong decoder
strong
or my TV decoder.
Yeah, you get it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So thank you
Thank
very
you,
much,
sir.
sir. Also, we have a lot of young people that are interested in ministry. A lot of people that are interested in signing up at the Bible school, and there's some information that came across, but I believe hasn't been so widespread about it. So could you tell us more about how Foursquare is building around its young ministers, giving them the opportunity to serve?
Yeah, the one thing that we observe is that we have an aged ministers, athlete. That is to say that a lot of our ministers are in the advanced age. We don't have a lot of young ministers. And that is understood. It's understood in the sense that we have to go and research into it. Why is it like this? And we discovered that one of the reasons is because, there's always this argument, they catch them young.
Yes.
Catch them young. So what we intend to do to correct that is that we know that as a church, we will not encourage somebody just carrying Bible and entering ministry. You need to have training.
Okay.
And I know Foursquare will not take it. That will just take somebody and say, maybe because he has led a fellowship of 1,000 in UI, or he has led a fellowship of 2,000 in OAU, then we'll make you pastor. No, we will not do that. Foursquare, we pride ourselves in training our ministers. The same year that Foursquare was planted in Nigeria, 1955, was the same year that Life Theological Seminary started. So there was no break. As they were starting the church, they were starting the training school. So that's why they cannot negotiate it for anything. So what we have done to be able to get around that is to work with Life Theological Seminary. I must commend the leadership of Life for that. They have agreed to take the T program to our campuses.
Wow.
So that while you are in campus, before you even finish your degree, you already qualified as a Foursquare minister.
That's great.
So by the time you finish, maybe even during your youth corps, is the time they will induct you.
Wow.
So that's one way we're trying to get around that. The other way we're trying to get around it is that the NAFS Alumni Fellowship, we have NAFS, which is National Association of Foursquare Students, Foursquare Student Fellowship, which is in over 100 campuses now as we speak. And that's a very great potential. So what we've done is all those who have passed through that fellowship, who have graduated, we have now formed a fellowship for them. We've been able to form a fellowship for them, which is called Foursquare NAFS Alumni Convergence. That's the name. NAFS Alumni Convergence. So all those who have passed through the fellowship, who are now graduates, some of them have started their own ministry. Some of them are, in other churches. Yeah. So we've been able to create a fellowship for them where I met them the other time. They were well over 100, going to 150 that I met somewhere in Maryland. And they expressed that the Foursquare doctrine, they like it and all that, but that they feel that there was no space for them. That's why some of them went. So we said, no. You are part of Foursquare. You are part of Foursquare in your 4 or 5 years or 6 years that you spend in the university. So you can't leave Foursquare. So such people also, we have also told them about this life program. That's one way they can easily, because we cannot say because they have led our fellowship on campus of 500 or 1,000, and we just say, okay, come and be pastor without getting trained. We can't do that. So we have assured them that, look, all you need to do is to get trained. And thank God for Life also. Life is also planning. Today, the young people of today, there are a lot of challenges.
Yes, sir.
It's unlike those days. There are a lot of challenges today. When you go to work, some go to work, some leave their house 5 a.m. Before they come back, it's in the night. And then you now ask them, maybe weekend, they even have other jobs, additional jobs to do. So Life has committed to starting an online program by next year.
That's great.
By next year.
Yes. So once they start the online program, it means even while you're in your house, you can log on and start a program and do it. Maybe they will just have maybe 1 week session for you to come face to face and write your exams. So with that, a lot of young people who we know are very busy these days will be able to get the training and then be available for use, for kingdom work.
Thank you, sir. We'll pick up from there in a moment. We'll go for a quick break right now. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.
change. Do you still have questions?
Can you hear me? Yes, I have one question. Can you hear me?
So do I give her this one then?
No,
Can I give you a phone now?
I'll take them.
Okay. So I think everything is about that. That is secular experience. He has worked in
Secular.
the secular before. Maybe
Okay.
this experience
We
also.
are eating time.
So it's not only ministry. The ministry aspect, I think, he has taken that, advising the young ministers.
Pastor
Okay,
Ika.
I think he has
Want
kind
to
of covered
encourage
that.
the young ones to be involved in the work of the ministry.
We'll do that.
Yeah. So that is what.
Hi, hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
All right, good.
Okay. You're welcome back. Thank you for staying tuned. We're still with the General Overseer of the Foursquare Gospel Church in Nigeria, Reverend Sam Aboyeji, and it's been an interesting conversation. Sir, please, can you give us a bit of experience you've had as a youth growing up?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I would like to advise young people about is that is the best time to serve God and to do all that you want to do. You know, the Bible says it is better for a man to bear the yoke in his youth. Called Lamentation says that it is better to bear the yoke in your youth. And you know, the Ecclesiastes also say, remember the Lord in the days of your youth, when the evil days have not come, when you say, I have no pleasure in them. So the youth days are actually the days to be used, one, to serve God. To serve God. It's a time to serve God. I mean, be available. You know, like we say, the glory of the youth is their strength. A lot of the things I did as a young person, sometimes when I look back, I just imagine, how did I do them? You know. But there was a lot of strength then to combine so many things together. So I will advise young people, a young person should not be lazy. If a young person is lazy, the destiny of the person will be in jeopardy. You know, research has shown that 80% of children of well-to-do people, of hard-working people, don't do well. The reason being that they are not exposed to hard work. Everything has been done for them. So that's why those of us who have good background and we come from well-to-do homes where everything is provided for us, we need to work extra hard. Otherwise, we'll be among the 80%. And God forbid that we should be among them. So first thing, you must work hard. The Bible says that through idleness, a building decay. So it's so important, hard work, because it's what masters you as a young person that you grow up with. So it's so important. That is the time you have to chart your career. That's the time you have to, people like us who are charting both career and ministerial path at the same time. You know, I worked in the bank. When I closed from the bank, then I went for the church. You know, and then from there, I went to work with another company. And when you work with another company, there's money, there's work. So a lot of people like the money, but they don't want the work.
Work.
And it's not possible. So it's hard work. There is no shortcut to success. There's no shortcut to distinction. There's no shortcut to excellence. Because the other word for influence is actually excellence. When somebody excels, it becomes influential. Everybody likes to follow a winner. Because success has many relations. Failure is an orphan.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to associate with failure. And to succeed, you must work hard. That is basic. That's one thing I want young people to know. 2, you must also pray hard. In those days when we were growing up, anywhere we go, the first place we try to locate is a place where we can be praying. Even when we're on campus, we go and look for a field where you can pray. It's so important. You pray as if you don't pray, you won't succeed. You work as if you don't work, you will not succeed. So you pray hard and work hard. So important, whether in your career, there is nobody, even as a believer, even if they don't like your style, they don't like the God you are serving. But if the quality of your work is good, they will like your work. And if they like your work, they will like you. By fire, by force. So that's how it works. Okay. But if you say you're a Christian and the quality of your work is not anything to write home about, so you have even put yourself in a more difficult position. Because then they will say, all these people carrying Bible, they are not serious people. To the glory of God, when we were growing up, we always try to be ahead. It's like sometimes when they say Nigeria is playing, and they say because they know the referee is not going to support them. So they say they should play both the opponent and play the referee also. That's the way a believer's life should be. You should work extra hard. So that if, peradventure, you will like the work you are doing. And by that, with prayer, you will win them over. When things, like Daniel, there was a phrase in the Bible that's very common about Daniel. It said, let Daniel be called. Anytime there's a problem, they call Daniel. And it's the same Daniel that they threw into the lion's den because he didn't comply with what they wanted him to do. So as a believer, as a young Christian, as a young minister, as a young person growing up, particularly in this our very challenging world now, you just must stand out. You must stand out with excellence. You must stand out with hard work. You must stand out with spiritual life. It's so compulsory because without it, the person will be among the statistics. And it's always important to stand out.
Thank you.
When you stand out, people will know that, look, this one is different.
Thank you, sir.
And my prayer is that all our young people will stand out.
Amen.
Wherever they are.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So we have a question here from Ola. She's in diaspora and she's asking something very interesting here. She's saying, is there a platform to bring Foursquare youths in diaspora together? What can be done about that, especially students that are studying abroad? Is there a plan to bring them together?
That's a very good question. We have a Directorate of Foreign Mission, the Director of Foreign Mission. We are currently working on trying to increase the number of churches. A lot of our people, apart from students, are also emigrating to Canada, emigrating to US, emigrating to Europe. So the Directorate of Foreign Mission is in charge of trying to get those brethren, where necessary they can plant a church so that they can link up together as Foursquare people. So I believe this kind of person, if we have his or her details, then the Directorate of Foreign Mission can work on it so that through her, we can link up with others. In these days of virtual world, they can even hold fellowship virtually from all parts of the world. They can hold fellowship virtually. During this lockdown, we have had people who hold events. Some people have done marriages. Some have done birthday celebration. From different parts of the world. They don't need to come together physically in one place. With this development now, they can, once we have the person's detail, it can be, somebody we can use to link up with others. And we can also get some of the pastors to help us link up with the students. All they need to do is to have a date and then they can meet virtually.
Okay. That's great. Thank you very much, sir. So we're rounding up now. We have just about a minute. But before we go, sir, what is your advice to the youth? Given that our theme is influence, what's your advice to our youth? Quickly, sir.
Well, my advice to them is that I've talked about hard work. I've talked about pray hard. That anywhere they find themselves, they should stand out. Stand out in performance, stand out in spiritual life, stand out in everything. And then very important, all our Foursquare youths, I want to appeal to them that this is their time. This church belongs to them. And that's why we are making plans to start what we call the Grand Assembly. The Grand Assembly is the name we're giving, people have called it Youth Mega Church, this, but you see, it's a question of paradigm shift. The business of the church is to plant churches. And we know the youths are in the cities. So what we want to do is try and ensure that we have at least a Grand Assembly in every city in this country. That's where we're going. So that with those Grand Assembly, we know what the youth want. That's why I talk about paradigm shift. The way we plant churches in the villages, we cannot plant church like that in city and expect the youth to go there. We already know that. So that's why we roll out the policy on the Youth Planting Church Initiative, which says that every of our district must try and plant a youth church at the city center. And that youth church is the Grand Assembly. So I'm just using this opportunity to talk to our young people, both those who have left and those who are saying they are leaving. Some say Foursquare is an old people's church. Help us to tell them that our church is not an old people's church. We are old in age, but the content is the same, but the packaging is different.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir. We are old in age, the content is the same, but the packaging is different. Thank you very much for that, sir. And that's all we can take for today. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you very much, our Reverend Sam Aboyeji. For more details on our Youth Week programs, please log on to our various social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, where you can get updates. My name is Orolu Ashotade from Alaka District, and with me, I have...
My name is Joshua Edison from Oshodi District. Thank you very much for tuning in. Do have a good time, and God bless.
God bless.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Thanks.
Bye-bye.